This is ridiculous. If he doesn't find me attractive, why did he agree to marry me in the first place? Well, no one said that he didn't find you attractive.
I don't think those words should ever need to be uttered. The word unattractive or not attracted is guttural.
You can't just delete one of the aspects and say, well, you married me anyway. You're here now, sucker.
Buy her like a really cute outfit and say, I got you this. When she wears it, make a big deal about it. And she'll get the gist. She'll get the gist of, oh, he likes it when I dress up.
The effort in this relationship transcends being a mum. You also have to be a wife.
Oh, she's low in confidence if she wants to please him. No, you're married and it's in each other's interest to fulfill each other's desires.
Prior to that, you are haram to each other.
Wow.
She is haram to you. You owe this, and until that point, don't dare approach your wife. Assalamu alaikum, guys. What's going on? We are the X's, and welcome back to the channel.
So I was scrolling Instagram the other day, which I rarely do now, actually. Really good. I know, rude. I follow this woman who is a bit controversial because she's Muslim and she talks about some things that are very intimate. Risque. She posted a question that somebody had sent her, and the question was, what do I do if my husband says he doesn't find me attractive? And her personal take was, personally, if it were my husband who said that to me, I would feel quite offended and hurt if he said that. It's not for me to tell you what to do. And then she said, what do you guys think, basically? And she left it open in the comments.
Someone asked her.
Yeah.
I was thinking she asked the question and then she said, personally, I would do this.
For context, she's like a intimacy therapist person, like intimacy person. So that's why they're talking to her about attraction.
Bit weird that, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I know that the things are halal, but there's a line.
It's weird when you see the person saying the words of like, you know,
graphic words.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. People are like, why do you follow her then?
Because I want to know things.
The comments are really interesting. People are so opinionated on either side of this.
Is it insensitive? Is it something that you are allowed to speak about? Is it the way in which that specific thing was said?
That's got to affect everybody, that.
So first things first, we'll read through some of the comments just so you guys can see where the public opinion kind of leans towards, or well, it's both sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll start there.
Speaking from experience, my husband is very image conscious and always polished up. When we first got married, I would make an effort to look presentable and go to the gym. Once kids came along, all of that went out the window. There were times I wouldn't brush my hair all week and would be in pajamas all the time. What we women have to understand is men are visual. They see hot, fit women outside all day, every day. Then in my case, my husband would come home to a messy, unkempt, frumpy wife. I noticed the intimacy fading away and was concerned for our relationship. It was time to have that heavy, sensitive conversation. He told me how I've changed, how I no longer want to look good for him or make an effort in certain departments. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but I had to accept I had a part to play. I made a conscious decision to make an effort on my appearance and initiated romance. Alhamdulillah, the spark has relit. Happy ending. Okay. I relate to this comment a lot. Like this thing of you've had a kid and then you feel like I've literally used those words, unkempt, frumpy wife. Especially as a hijabi, I don't know why. As a hijabi, it's like I've always had the fear of being a frumpy hijabi. I don't mean that to throw shade. I don't walk around and see frumpy hijabis, but growing up, I just feel like, you know, when you don't do your scarf nice and stuff, because that's my natural thing. My natural thing is not to have, this is neat, guys. My natural thing is to, I literally said to my sister the other day, I said, yeah, the scarves I wear, they make me look like really like, I think I said unkempt, really like, what's the word? Really frumpy. And she goes, yeah. I was like, damn. So my sister can tell it to me, but if my husband said that, I think when your husband has to, when he feels like he needs to go to that length to say those kind of things to you, it can be very demoralizing and confidence breaking. So I can relate to this comment because I have felt like that. And you've not said anything to me, but I started feeling like, oh, he's seeing everybody else out there. Oh, he's seeing other girls like looking really well put together. You work with other women, you go to the gym. I'm like, oh, he's always seeing other people so put together. So I think that is an insecurity thing that comes when you feel like you're not.
Well, I don't expect you basically after a baby to look like, not that I'm looking at girls in the gym, but to look like the girls in the gym. I know that you're going to have a baby and you're going to go through this process of a bit of weight, a bit of this, a bit of whatever. But what I do expect in our relationship, which we spoke about prior to getting together, is for you to put in the work to get back down to where we were.
But I think that's part of it. You got to marry somebody that wants to do those things. So
you got to have those conversations before.
Not that you're held to that conversation, because life things can happen and you're different. But it's who you're marrying. Like, are you marrying somebody that certain things are important? Is physical appearance important to them before? Because if you don't marry somebody that cares about putting effort into their appearance before marriage. You can't really expect them to care after, to be honest, when life gets busier. But if it's something that you've discussed, especially if it comes to health and fitness and stuff, if it's something you've discussed before, then you can kind of like gently nudge. And I think that's the thing that the guy missed when he said to his wife he finds her unattractive. If her husband, say, doesn't like the clothes she's wearing, buy her like a really cute outfit and say, I got you this. And then when she wears it, make a big deal about it. And she'll get the gist. She'll get the gist of, oh, he likes it when I dress up. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, it can be done in a more gentle way. But yeah, I've related to that comment.
I think the main point of this comment here is that the guy had a conversation with his wife about something which he had obviously been going through and said, look, is there something we can do about this? Because...
And she was like, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but yes.
Yeah, and he didn't say, he didn't say, I don't find you attractive anymore.
My friend always says this to me. She goes, just fake it till you make it. Just fake it. Just fake it till you make it. Just like, you know what I mean? Pretend you feel really good. And then one day you will.
This is ridiculous. If he doesn't find me attractive, why did he agree to marry me in the first place? Some people need to realize that when they get married, they get married to actual human beings.
Capitals.
Who change and grow old and gain weight or lose weight. If anyone isn't at peace with the fact and isn't ready to marry for the sake of Allah and for the sake of creating a family that obeys Allah and bring up good individuals into the world, then you have a lot of self-growth to do. Marriage is sacred, and such shallow individuals do nothing but misbehave in a sacred relationship. Total kids, SMH. Shake my head.
Totally agree that you do like gain weight and lose weight and all that stuff, but why did he agree to marry me in the first place?
There's like so many things that have been skated over and ignored here. Yeah. So for instance, this is ridiculous. If he didn't find me attractive, why did he agree to marry me in the first place? So no one said that he didn't find you attractive. What he's saying is at this point of the relationship, and let's just say for all intents and purposes, he's talking about physically right now. What he's trying to say is you've let yourself go, and let's just say that that's what he's trying to say. You've let yourself go, and I don't find you this version of you attractive. Although the guy's like a caveman and doesn't know how to speak yet.
Yeah, you agree that it's
I agree that this whole statement of what the guy's saying is like, that is what the hell is wrong with you.
Right, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, so it is ridiculous, yeah.
Obviously, he found you attractive if you married you.
Yeah, now to say that we're actual human beings and we put on weight and we do this and we do that. Marriage and relationships, just like everything else in life, takes work. I have to work hard to go to work and progress and do these other things. I'm putting my time during my extracurriculars to make sure that I pick up some work in the evening or doing this little project on this. I have to do these things to elevate the status of my family. I don't want just one job and stay in that one job that I was in ages ago and never progress and say, this is me now. You know, life got on, I just got a bit old, but this is my wage stays the same and not pushing to do anything at all. Yeah. It's true. You have a baby, you put on weight. You get older, your metabolism changes. You don't burn calories the way that you used to burn calories. When you eat chocolate, you see it straight away. Things like whatever happens. Yeah,
I think it's that thing of she's like, let go of the pressure and let go of the thing. This is just the way it is. And you're saying basically there's effort and pressure in all aspects of life.
Well, no, listen, the effort in this relationship transcends being a mum. You also have to be a wife. Okay, and being a wife is more than putting food on the table or more than looking after the kids. Looking after the kids is being a mum. Right, and you can be a good mum for your husband as well and say, look, I love my wife because she's a great mother. Her being a great mother satisfies this kid
I wish
thing.
that was enough to be a good wife.
But it's not. Why does that satisfy me? Does me being a great dad to Amaya?
Yes.
So you don't require anything from me then?
No, I do.
So that's the point, yeah? So you still require things from me. You still require me to be a husband to you. You don't just require me to be the father of your child.
But it's a great, do you know what I mean? Asset.
No, it might be a great asset, but there is more to the marriage than being. You know what I'm saying, man? Stop trying to pity party all the women all the time. Every time we're having a conversation, you're just playing devil's advocate to the flipping highest.
No, I agree with what you're saying.
Listen, she's making a false point basically. The lady's making a false point, right? Or the sister, is she Muslim?
The lady.
Yeah, she's a Muslim.
I agree that you need to put. There's no aspect of life where you can just drop the ball and leave it on the floor. Basically, everything you need to keep it pushing. You can slack. You can have times where you slack and you drop the ball for a second, or you just put the ball down for a second because you need to put it down. But at some point you do need to pick it back up again. There's no, even in religion, like all that stuff, everything, you need to keep it pushing at some point.
It doesn't say anywhere that because you're married, no matter what state you're married, your partner looks in, male, you're married, your husband or the wife, no matter what state they present themselves in for extended periods of time, as in they're not going to change from that you just have to still be physically attracted to that person because you chose them a version of them from back in the day. That is absolute nonsense, in my opinion. We live in a time of physical attraction, basically. Everything, we do love marriages now. We tend to get married because we find the other person attractive, firstly on a physical level, and then on a emotional, intellectual, spiritual level and stuff like that. You can't just delete one of the aspects and say, well, you married me anyway, you're here now, sucker. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like that. You can't marry me and I'm a well-educated, put-together guy, and then I just let myself go and become a bum, and you're like, oh well.
Oh, that's hard. He was honest and we're hating on him. If he wasn't honest and started acting in other ways, we would still hate on this guy. Too many trials in this day and age in marriage. I agree with that. I agree that I like the honesty. I think that I don't like that honesty. That's too far. Okay, let me just keep giving that disclaimer. That is too far what he said.
Yeah, we should say it as a blanket statement. It's wrong. Although I actually do think that there's some context in which it's okay to say that. But what seems to be happening here,
I don't think those words should ever need to be uttered. They should stay in your mouth.
No, if you're looking to say to somebody, look, this relationship can't.
The word progress. Unattractive or not attracted is guttural.
Yeah,
you don't need to say that.
What about if she speaks to him like a dog?
Okay, I'm not talking about physical.
So I'm saying that in certain, we're not talking about physical. There is a place where you can say those, where you can say that phrase or those kind of things, and it's at the end of something when you're not going to go back. Yeah, you're not saying it to hurt somebody. You're saying something.
Oh, like if you're about to divorce.
Yeah, you're saying it to explain the situation.
Okay, yeah.
Then it's fine.
Yeah.
This just in a passing statement, or just because you feel like it, or because you're angry, or because you've held it in for 2 years and now you're going to say it. Totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, totally unacceptable.
He was honest and we're hating on him. I think that's partly true, as in I think that I would rather know. I wouldn't like you to say it like that, but it shouldn't be a thing.
You shouldn't be saying like that. Like I said, it's a caveman.
Yeah. It shouldn't be that the guy says nothing. Like because you're a team. When you're married, you're like a team, and if something is going a bit wrong in the marriage, it's in both of your interests. That's what it is. This is very him and her, but it's a joint team thing, and it's in both of your interests to fix the thing. It's not a him against her.
It's not a him against her. It's not a side taking thing about
but
women,
it's also not. Yeah, it's not, and it's also not a thing of like, oh, she's low in confidence if she wants to please him. No, you're married, and it's in each other's interest to fulfill each other's desires. Do you know what I mean?
It's in the man's interest to stay married to his wife and the mother of his children.
Yeah,
as it is with the woman.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's not in his interest to break her heart and ruin his marriage.
And listen, he might not get the size 8 version of her or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but to come back to a respectable level of attraction for both of them, or for him to maintain or to grow into certain. Do you know what I mean?
But it might not be weight. It might be something like.
It could be.
Do you know what I mean? There could be such. It could also be that there are such little things that she could do that are fine for her to do and comfortable for her to do that will make him feel so much more attractive.
It's true.
So he should feel comfortable. Men should feel comfortable. Husbands should feel comfortable vocalizing these things to their wives, because it's good for the wife too to feel like, oh my, like when you tell me you like something, I will do it every day for it forever. Do you know what I mean? Like it's exciting for the wife to think, oh my god, I know what's going to make him happy, and way easier than guessing all the time as well. Like. It's in both of their interests. I'm saying it's great.
If you can't speak honestly to your wife or your husband, if you don't have any room to conversation which includes criticism and critique, who can you talk to then?
Yeah, I would look straight back at him and say, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who feels that way about my partner. That's kind of dangerous because I'm tit for tat, and I would say that, but that's a divorce. That's like divorce. Like when you're like him saying that to her. I hope inshallah the man should repair it. But like for me personally, if you said to me, I'm not attracted to you, physically attracted to you anymore.
Game over. That's game
There's
over.
nowhere to go. But then if I say it back to you, it's like, we're both done.
I don't find you attractive anyway. Two wrongs
Thank God you said it.
Two wrongs don't make. Okay, well, so on the topic then, seeing as we're being open.
There's nowhere to go from there.
How would I respond with divorce papers on hand, telling you don't find him attractive either? The next person says, I think context is important. Has he always found you unattractive, or is this a recent thing due to body changes such as illness and pregnancy? Either way, to be honest, I'd be offended, but depending on the context, it might be resolvable.
I've got a little thing here as well. This might not be professional advice. Don't take it from me, I'm not a professional. But I also think, and you're going to contradict this. Don't contradict what I'm saying. Because you personally don't enjoy this, but I'm just saying in general, this is general advice and I really stand by it. Sometimes things are very uncomfortable and you can't say them to the person because you feel like you won't say your points correctly, or you feel like you're gonna.
She's gonna say right text.
Or you feel like you're gonna like climb inside. No, but I even had conversations with my parents as a child, when I was a teenager, that I felt too uncomfortable to speak to them about, or I felt like I wouldn't say it right, or it wouldn't come out right. So I'd write them a message, like, and I'd say it that way, and it gives them time to absorb, and gives them time that if they can't say something in a way, they can type it back and think about their words and write it, and it's clear for you. Like, if you're nervous, sometimes you don't absorb what the person's saying properly, and you're like, oh my god, what did they even say? So I'm saying, if it's something that, say your husband said something like that to you and you want to know more, but you don't really want to speak to him and say it to him because it's making you feel not good inside, maybe you could write a message and say, listen, that was really hurtful, but I do want to know what aspects you're talking about.
That's great.
I mean, don't do it like me and make it 5-page essay. Maybe make it succinct.
I'm cool with the 5-page essay. We'll have another conversation about this at another time. Yeah, it's good. If it's uncomfortable to have that physical in-person conversation,
when your feelings are hurt, it's hard.
I understand. The problem I've got with the text message thing is we're human.
Yeah.
Allah created us to speak to each other.
Yeah.
If you can't, I'm not having a relationship with the airing dirty laundry. I'm not having a relationship with you where and this isn't an issue anymore, don't worry. We solved it 2 weeks ago.
So long ago. If it were my husband, I would literally cry and ask him, then why did you marry me, with a crying face? God help her. It is so sad. Like, as a woman, it's so heartbreaking to have your husband say that to you. As a guy receiving it,
the same thing.
So in terms of like attractiveness and stuff, it is that thing that with tact and with gentle conversation, you can have that conversation. Hopefully things can change and the person like they know how you feel and they can work on it. But what if they can't work on it? What if it's something that they literally can't because of not pregnancy, because pregnancy is temporary, but what if it's something permanently? What if they're permanently ill and they can't change that and they just have to hear that that's how you feel?
Right, see, look, this situation is very close to me. This version of things, and I think it takes a lot in that situation. So in Islam, we have this concept of honor and what is the more honorable thing to do. So some things are halal, which is permissible. Some things are haram, which are not permissible. And then you have little stages, like some things are makruh, which is disliked. And you have different things, yeah. Within the halal, everything is halal in this, no matter whether some things are better or some things are worse, but they're all halal. So there's segments in halal which are more honorable than others. Basically, it's halal whether you stay or whether you don't stay, but one's more honorable than the other. And I think in this situation of somebody getting ill, the man or the woman, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, I think for the guy to say, let's just say it's a wife, because this is the conversation that we're having here. I think for the guy to say that, listen, or have a conversation with himself and be like, I don't find my wife attractive anymore. She's not able to fulfill the role of ABC for me anymore, and I'm aware of this. And this relationship now, the dynamic is totally different to what our relationship was and what anybody else's relationship is. Now that man is well within his rights to say, look, I still want to have intimacy. I still want to this, I still want to that. Yeah. And although it hurts me, maybe there's a deep conversation to have there. Although it hurts me, I need to salam. You know what I mean? Yeah. And do it in a nice, pleasant way and go. And it's halal for him to do so. And I think in that situation, that's fine. And I think if the man decided to stay with his wife or the woman staying with her husband in that particular situation, I have no doubt whatsoever that is a form of jihad and he's guaranteed Jannah.
It's a more honourable thing to do.
That is the most definitely the more honourable thing to do in that situation. Yeah. Actually, it could be depending on what stage of the marriage that maybe happened at 30 years. What about if you got married and you only just got married and she's ill straight away? That might change things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, well, I just got married, I was trying to start my life, now we find ourselves at a crossroad. Anything can happen. I know people
in that situation as well, and it must be really hard.
That's a tough situation, yeah. But there is definitely, I don't think any of those two options are wrong. I think there's definitely a more honourable choice to make. But it's sad. Yeah. It's really sad, really hard. May Allah protect us all.
Yeah. When I scrolled this and I saw it, I didn't even think about, how do I feel about this? What do I think? Because I instantly thought about what Islam says about this, because me and Sufyan have had this conversation before. Yeah. And I remember he told me a story about this, which I want you to tell them.
Yeah, I'm going to.
And it makes it so easy to know how you would feel as a Muslim if your husband said that to you.
Yeah. Okay. So right, in terms of Islam, there is a very clear response to this situation. Okay. Now, it's actually not specifically this situation, but I think the two things
super close.
I think it's very applicable.
Yeah.
So before Islam came, there was a phrase used by the people of the land in Mecca, and what they used to say was, "You're like a mother to me." So a man would say to his wife, "You're like a mother to me," and this would be a way to divorce
like a cuss.
Yeah, it's a way to divorce, basically. It's divorce. You say, okay, do you know what? You're like a mother to me anyway. And you're telling the wife that you no longer serve the role as a wife. I don't find you attractive anymore.
I don't see you as a woman.
As a woman, you're like a mother to me. You only serve the purpose of a mother to me. And this is a way for the men to get rid of the women. It's like a divorce thing. So Islam comes, the Prophet ﷺ establishes Islam and all the rules, and Quran comes down and Revelation, everything. So now there is a way in which you get divorced. Not like this. So there's a story in Islam now where there was a woman called Khawla. Sometimes she's referred to as Khawayla, but she's called Khawla. And she came to the Prophet. She's actually like a warrior woman, you know. She's like one of the like great people in Islam. One of the great women in Islam. You should research her. Anyway.
Every time you say Khawla, I think of how like a wolf. That makes more sense now. She's a warrior.
So she's called Khawla, and she came to the Prophet ﷺ because she had a complaint that her husband had said this to her. Yeah. Now, this, what's it called? It's called dhihr. Forgive the lack of recall skills in this section here. As you can tell by my face, I was searching, but I came up short. The word is dhihar. That's Z-I-H, an elongated A, and then an R. Khawla came to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and said, my husband has said this to me, and what do I do? Because he's told me that I'm like a mother to him. Now, the Prophet ﷺ never didn't really give rulings without revelation. Only, obviously, he's the walking message, basically, isn't it? So he waits for revelation to come down before he says something. Khawla insisted and just kept on going on, not going on in a bad way, but kept on saying she's really upset and hurt about this situation. What should she do? What should she do? He said that, like, he's basically tried to divorce me in this way, basically. So the Prophet says to Khawla, I don't think you're halal to each other anymore. And then revelation came down to the Prophet ﷺ. So revelation came down. Now at the start in your Quran, in Surah Al-Mujadala, literally the first verse or the second verse refers to Allah saying, I heard the conversation, I heard the complaints of the woman, talking to the Prophet ﷺ in the Quran, saying, I heard the complaints to the woman, and this is what the ruling is now. And Allah comments on this situation and says it's so grave, such a massive thing that the man has said, a massive sin, that in order, if he wants to retract that and try to make peace with his wife, then what he has to do is he has to either free a slave, if he's not able to free a slave, he has to fast for 60 days consecutively. And bear in mind that in Ramadan, which we all struggle with, is 30 days long. This is twice as long, And if he can't fast for 60 days, then he has to feed 60 people, So if you can't do the free the slave, then you have to fast for 60 days. And if you can't fast for 60 days, then you have to feed 60 people. And only at that point, once you've done those things, one of those three things, only at that point are you allowed to have sexual contact with your wife again. Prior to that, you are haram to each other.
Wow.
She is haram to you. Where this differs is that this is speaking about a specific phrase that was used, and that phrase even has a name. But in the Quran, Allah says the men refer to their wives as mothers, and they aren't their mothers. Their mothers are the ones that gave birth to them, so they are liars. It's literally said, look, you liar. Them calling the men liars. You liar, basically. How dare you say something like that and call your wife your mother? You're a liar, and it's a massive, nasty thing that you are saying, and that is the punishment for you.
It's so heavily treated in Islam.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is completely transferable. Although, astaghfirullah, I'm not making up my own laws. I'm not saying that this is a punishment for saying that, but I'm saying in this day and age, it is the phrase of like, I don't like see you like that, you're kind of like a mother to me, I'm not attracted to you. That's kind of like the gist of it. Listen, isn't it? Like, I'm not attracted to you like that, I don't see you like that.
And what it is, obviously back then they used that to say, okay, I'm divorced and you like a mother to me anyway.
I don't see you like that like anymore. I don't see you sexually, basically.
Now how many times in our relationships have I'm not saying you, but how many times have you heard the people say, look, I don't even find you attractive anymore, I don't even see you like that anymore. You're just like the role of my mother. You're not a sexual thing to me. You just look after me like my mum looks after me. Do you know what? They can have you. Do you know what?
Shut up.
Do you know what? They can have you. I don't even want you anymore. I don't find you attractive. And she's not said that. Do you know what? They can have you. Do you know what? let them man have you. You're nothing to me. Do you know what I mean? These are phrases that are on par with dhihr.
Yeah.
Now tell me, when you said that to your wife, Mr. Man at home, Muslim man at home, did you fast for 60 days afterwards? No. You're mad because your wife got angry for 2 weeks. And she stopped talking to you. She stopped talking with you for 2 weeks. And then you was getting a bit rowdy in the bedroom thinking, oh, come on, it's my right to have that. You know I was only joking. Did you fast for 60 days? Because until you completed those 60 days, you're not halal.
And that's just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's instruction to be like not square with Allah, but to be like that's his requirement of you. That's not even
of the man. Yeah, what it says. That is what you've done now. In order to cleanse that, you owe this, and until that point, don't dare approach your wife.
Then after that, though, you got to make good with your wife.
Yeah, then you have to make. You have to
repair the feelings.
Yeah. That's what I mean. You have to repair it with your life. You definitely have to repair it with your wife. You're not even halal to even try it until that point.
That's so crazy, and that's so something that I just never would have thought that's the weight of it before I heard that story.
So Allah obviously honored Khawla by revealing this in the Quran, and it's in Surah Al-Mujadila. It's right at the start. Go and read it. And Allah says, I heard the conversation. So for people who think that it's not that deep,
it is that deep.
It's very deep. And can I just say as a side point, that saying when we were actually trying to deep dive what was going on in this text message here, and I was saying that I don't think that this is a physical type of attraction that a guy's talking to. He just doesn't find his wife attractive anymore.
Which I would never think about as a woman. I was like, what?
Everybody wants to whittle everything down to the simplest form, which is lust. He doesn't physically find me attractive anymore. I'm telling you now, the most beautiful woman can still be physically beautiful and be so unattractive to you. The most handsome man can be so toxic and horrible in his treatment and his language that you just don't find him attractive anymore. And when you're saying, obviously I know this is in the realm of physical attraction that we're talking, but attraction goes beyond what you see. It's what you hear, it's what you feel. So we know this already, yeah? Otherwise, attractive people would never get divorced. You know what I mean? So we know this already. Some people, no matter how good they look... I can't
believe Angelina Jolie's divorced. Still don't understand that one.
Wild. That was Amara's first lesbian crush.
Ew, no, it's not true. I just think she's really beautiful.
You can go back to that. No matter how beautiful people look, they can still be very ugly. And you can't be attracted to ugliness. Before we go back to Angelina Jolie, men, stop speaking to your wives like this. If you haven't got issues in your relationship, women, please allow your husbands to speak honestly with you in these situations. Yeah, there needs to be an air of tact. With tact, but you need to be an air of honesty. And when we hear things that we don't like, our normal instinct is to respond aggressively. We become defensive. Yeah, you're like, oh well, what? Like, how many times did you hear criticism from somebody just about anything, and you didn't explain as to why that was happening? You know what I mean? They'll say, yeah, but no, but you don't understand because but it wasn't. Yeah, do you know what I mean? No, even I do that. Yeah, Amaya dropped before, and I was like, no, but yeah, she's fine. But she fell, and I was like, yeah, but no, because I turned and explain it away first, yeah, instead of sitting down and thinking, okay, let me just accept this critique and let me do something about it. So we as humans become defensive, and a lot of our defense mechanism is actually attack as well. Learn to take critique.
I think marriage is a team effort, and there's no room for pride and defense and stuff. People we just be gentle with each other.
Apologize to me then, go on.
I'm sorry for attacking you after Maya fell.
I wasn't even talking about. I was seeing if you would apologize. You're the hardest person to get an apology out of.
No,
I always apologize.
I'm sorry because when I make mistakes, you're so reassuring and gentle with me, and when you make mistakes, you know what it is? You're just so chill that I think that
I'm just finding you really unattractive right now,
babe.
In this moment,
that is wrong. That is wrong.
Astaghfirullah. Anything else to say?
No, my baby's gonna wake up soon though.
Yeah, okay. That was our video. I hope that we have been able to shed some light. Okay.
If I ever look distracted, guys, there's
a baby monitor down there.
Baby monitor there, so I just check it sometimes. Yeah. So if I ever look like
we were actually about to shoot, and then she woke up, and we're like, oh, we're not gonna be able to shoot. And then I just managed to get back to sleep. So we probably as soon as we put the camera down, she'll.
Yeah, that's something's different about YouTube now. It's very hard to like solely focus on the thing, but we here, man. We here. Yeah. And I hope that woman's marriage, I don't know how she's got on after that. But I hope he didn't say it that bluntly. I hope she was just giving the gist of what he said.
Really,
and I hope
really think before you speak. Engage your brain before you engage your tongue. My dad used to say, I told you this in a video before, there are 4 cages for the mouth. You have your lips, your teeth. Those are the cages that have to open before your tongue goes into action and you say what you can say. Some things you'll never be able to recover from them. You'll say it once and you will not mean it, and that's it.
May Allah protect us. May Allah protect us from saying things that we can't take back from our spouses and our families.
Salam.
Salam, guys. Okay.